please welcome Ronnie Reissenweber.
Thank you. Just a bit about me. My study is, I've actually done my study in the Netherlands. I've got a master's degree in architecture. I was registered in the Netherlands as an architect for 8 years before I came over to Australia. Up here, when I got here, I actually worked in Melbourne for about 7 years for a big architectural firm, and I started my own business in Port Arlington in 2005. And then, obviously, like you just heard, I moved to Teesdale just about a month ago. Yep. All right, today's presentation are basically based on frequently asked questions that I get all the time. So basically, the first question is, what does custom building design mean? It doesn't mean this. Basically, what is design? Building design is dividing space into functional areas. Custom building design will take into account site conditions, solar aspect, site slope, vegetation and neighboring properties. It will also take into account the client wishes and the briefing that they give me, and it will also take into account their budget, and obviously also regulations that are applicable as well. And there's no perfect design, so there's not one house that is perfect for every family. Like every family's got their own wish list and their own way of how they live in a house. And the second question is, what is a building designer? That is a bit harder to answer. Next one. Basically, it can be split up into categories, like there's draftspersons and there is architects. Basically, a draftsperson is registered with the Victorian Building Authority as a draftsperson. A minimum education level would be Advanced Diploma of Building Design. He would have 1 year of practical experience and generally draws what the client provides. An architect is registered with the Australian Institute of Architects. He would have a minimum education level of a bachelor degree in architecture, and he would have at least 2 years practical experience, has a higher registration fee, and generally draws what the architect likes. That's why I call myself a building designer. I'm registered also as a draftsperson. I used to be a registered architect in the Netherlands before I came over, and I've just chosen not to register here in Australia as an architect, and because the title is protected, I can't call myself an architect officially. And generally draw what the client wants, using my experience and advising my clients of all the options. Next one. So how much does custom building design cost? Is another question that I get quite a bit. Next slide. I believe that the custom or the building cost for a building is usually the largest investment in people's lives, so it's important to get it right. Buildings last a long time, so you won't be doing it again for a while. So I believe it's more important not to look at how much building design costs, but basically how much you can save by having it custom designed for you. And the savings that you can have is basically the building is designed to your specifications, so there's no need to renovate or extend the house in the short term. The building will also be designed with a solar aspect in mind, so you'll basically save energy costs over the life of the building. The building will be designed with materials that require low maintenance or no maintenance, so that's another saving. I like to keep the structure of a building design quite simple, so that is another saving that you can have. And because I do a lot of 3D impressions of the house before it's been built, you basically know exactly what you're going to get as well. Next one. What sort of buildings do you design? So I'll show a couple of projects that I've designed. Yep. I do obviously residential single residences. So these are a couple of those projects. In residential also do renovations and extensions. I do unit developments, so where there's more units on one lot. In commercial, I also do new proposed buildings, and I also do renovations and extensions to commercial buildings. And I do in commercial also interior fit outs and designs as well. Then as part of my consultancy, I do residential lot subdivisions and also rural lot subdivisions, and basically do things in the farming zone where there's bigger things. And also I do the 3D computer visualizations, and I do that for my own designs when my clients require that, but I can also do that for other architects and designers to basically visualize what they do as well. Another question that I get is, what do you currently work on? So I show a couple of projects that I'm doing at the moment. This is a project that I'm doing at the moment that is in documentation stage. I've done the design and the documenting for that house. It's a new house that's going to be built in Jellybrand Lower, and it is on a bush block, so we've got some bushfire management regulations and trying to keep it all safe. But yeah, it's going to be interesting when it's going to be built. At the moment it's at the structural engineer to get the structural engineering right, and then I'll be doing the last modifications to the structure or to the construction documentation, and then it can be built. Also currently working on quite a couple of residential subdivisions. This is a project that I'm doing at the moment in Ocean Grove for a 3-lot subdivision, and that is currently in the design stage just before town planning. So we're trying to get the design right before it goes into the town planning stage, and I'll do the town planning report and the town planning drawings for it. Another project that I'm currently working on is an extension to the pool in Cobden. Basically, they want to put a new gym as a separate building to the pool. So I've done the design for that, and currently that has got just received a planning permit for it, and I'm now going to do the construction documentation to draw it all up so that the builder can quote on it, and so that it can get built. And the last project that I'm working on currently that I'm really excited about is a nice new house in country Victoria. Basically, like, it's built up in 3 different parts, and it's just going to be like really exciting to get this one over the line and see it all being built, because it's just like one of my favorite designs at the moment. Alright, that is it. Just my referrals, my bread and butter referrals would be design or over a renovation or an extension to an existing residence. Ideal referral stream would be the design of a new proposed residence or a commercial fit out. And my dream is to design unit developments and commercial developments. That's it. Thank you.